Greetings. Today we have a Libra moon and also a first quarter moon. So the first quarter moon in Libra bringing us 1/4 of the way through the current moon cycle that began with the new moon in Cancer. We also have Venus coming closer and closer to its conjunction with Uranus, and that will be exact around Thursday. So tomorrow, but we're getting really close to that exact conjunction of Venus to Uranus. So looking at Libra and looking at themes of love and self-love and radical love and what does love look like and feel like, and how can we learn the lessons of love and caring with this current Cancer moon cycle. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Wednesday, July 2nd. So first quarter moon in Libra. So Libra is that sign. It's an air sign. It deals with balance. And in many ways, Libra has to do with how we see ourselves through the eyes of another person. So getting that actual balanced perspective of getting outside of ourselves, getting outside of our own inner biases and like the way that we see the world, to see ourselves, to see things through someone else's eyes. And ultimately, when you think about it, what that does is it helps us understand ourselves better. And so relationships in many ways serve the self, right? And our self-knowledge, our self-awareness, our capacity to understand things more deeply, more and connect with the world in new and interesting ways. So thinking about Libra and how when we're entering into relationships, when we're doing the work of engaging in relationships, how very, very important it is that relationship that we have with ourselves, right? That foundational primary relationship that we have. And so those places where you get along with yourself, where you like yourself, where you don't like yourself, where you don't like or have heart, criticism of yourself, or wish you were different, or wish you had done things differently, and those kinds of things. So when you think about that as your relationship with yourself, you can ask yourself, where could I be more kind? How can I be more supportive to being myself, right? Because you can't be anybody else. You are stuck being yourself. And you might as well fall in love with yourself, right? Find that place of gratitude and appreciation for who you are, not out of a sense of selfishness, although that certainly can happen, right? But more out of a sense of how can you support yourself to grow into the human that you are here to be. And what does that look like? And maybe you're already in your process of growing into your full potential, and you're walking that journey and you're doing that and reflecting in your day-to-day life. This is a good time to reflect on where caring for yourself, where kindness for yourself, where support for yourself at deeper levels, and at that deeper place of being aware of where some of your maybe unconscious ways of being are that might interfere with being kind to yourself. Recognizing, if you are in a relationship, how do you want that person to treat you? And are you treating yourself that way, right? So some opportunities here for reflection, not because it has to be hard, but because we're deepening into our experience of understanding what caring really looks like and feels like with the current moon cycle. What is caring? How do we care for one another? And starting with this place where we have the this like almost infinite ability to experiment and explore and discover with ourselves, because once we work on that fertile ground of learning more about who we are, who each of us is, looking deeper into ourselves, that we can then expand that understanding, that curiosity, that learning and growing through our experience in the world, whether that is through one-on-one relationships, whether that is through the environment around you, the events and situations and developments that are happening around you, and how you can best respond to those. When you understand yourself and your own relationship to yourself more fully, you can show up more effectively to be part of the solutions, right? And part of making a positive difference. So today's theme with that first quarter Libra moon is self-love, and looking deeper at what self-love looks like for you, asking that deeper focus question: what would it look like to love myself more deeply, more fully? What would it look like to support myself? What would I do differently in my day-to-day life if I were really fully supporting myself? Because that foundational relationship with ourself is the foundation for everything else, right? So we have that magic of balance in relationships, but we also have this capacity to cultivate that relationship of self-love, love of ourselves, and noticing the places where we can grow into our capacity to love ourselves more fully and accept where we are, accept our limitations, but also deepen into our true potential, our true capacity to understand ourselves more fully and unlock some of more of what we are capable of. So those are my thoughts for today. I'm Marina Orms, and you can book a reading with me, dive more fully into your own chart and what self-love looks like for you. Who are you really, and how can you love yourself more fully in a reading? So astrologyheals.com is where you can book that. And thank you for being here and for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I'm here every day with Astrology for Unshakable Self-Care, and I have that member site as well. So thanks for being here. I will see you next time.